welcome to the Protalix Therapeutics first quarter 2020 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. A question and answer session will follow the formal presentation. If anyone should require operator assistance during the conference, please press *0 on your telephone keypad. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded. It is now my pleasure to introduce your host, Chuck Padala, with Protalix Investor Relations. Thank you, sir. You may begin.
Thank you, operator. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Protalix Therapeutics first quarter 2020 financial results and business update conference call. With me today is Mr. Dror, Bashan, President and CEO of Protalix, and Eyal Rubin, Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. A press release announcing the results and the update is available on the Protalix website. Please take a moment to read the disclaimer about forward-looking statements in the press release. The earnings release and this teleconference include forward-looking statements. These forward-looking statements are subject to known and unknown risks and uncertainties that may cause actual results to differ materially from the statements made. Factors that could cause actual results to differ are described in the disclaimer and in our filings with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. I now turn the call over to Mr. Dror, Bashan.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today to review the company's first quarter 2020 operations and recent highlights. During this call, I will provide an update on our clinical and corporate progress, and then I will ask our CFO, Eyal Rubin, to review the company's financial results before opening the lines for questions. The first quarter of 2020 has been certainly transformational for Protalix, despite the COVID-19 pandemic that affected global markets. I am proud to say that despite the pandemic, Protalix was able to keep the company running smoothly and adapt quickly to the changing environment. As we anticipated, last week, Protalix, together with our development and commercialization partner, Chiesi, Global Rare Disease, a unit of the mother company, Chiesi, submitted a biological license application to the US FDA for PRX-102 via the FDA Accelerated Approval Pathway. PRX-102 was granted Fast Track designation by the FDA in January 2018. The BLA submission includes a comprehensive set of preclinical, clinical, and manufacturing data compiled from our completed phase 1/2 clinical trial of PRX-102, including the related extension study succeeding the phase 1/2 clinical trial of PRX-102, the interim clinical data from our phase 3 bridge switchover study, as well as safety data from our ongoing clinical studies of PRX-102, including extension studies. Upon the BLA approval, if approved, Protalix will be eligible to receive milestone payment from Chiesi. Earlier in May, we have announced our positive top-line results from the completion of the phase 3 bridge clinical trial of PRX-102. This open-label switchover study met its main objective for safety and efficacy and indicated substantial improvement in renal function in patients switched from Replagal to PRX-102. This important study confirms our belief that PRX-102 can be an important enzyme replacement therapy and a new treatment option for Fabry disease. Together with our two ongoing fully enrolled phase 3 clinical trials, the Balance and the Bright studies, we believe we have the most comprehensive and a robust phase 3 clinical program for Fabry disease currently in progress. Additionally, in February of this year, we have announced together with our development and commercialization partner, Chiesi, the receipt of an agreement letter from the FDA for the initial pediatric study plan for PRX-102, outlining an agreed-upon approach to address the needs of pediatric Fabry patients as well. On March 16th of this year, we have announced an agreement to conduct feasibility study with Kirin Holdings Company to evaluate the production of a novel complex protein using Protalix, and the company received an unrefundable payment of $1 million, and Kirin has agreed to provide research funding for Protalix scientists to conduct cell line engineering and protein expression studies on the target protein. I will now turn over the call to Eyal, our CFO, to review our financials.
Thank you, Dror, and thank you everyone for joining today's call. So as we previously announced in March, Protalix entered into securities purchase agreements with certain existing and new institutionals and other accredited investors in a private placement. In connection with the private placement, we issued approximately 17.6 million unregistered shares of our common stock at a purchase price of $2.485 per share and warrants to purchase an additional approximately 17.6 million shares of common stock at an exercise price of $2.36 per share in exchange for aggregate net committed proceeds equals to approximately $41.3 million. Net proceeds from the financing are being used to advance our clinical programs and commercialization of PRX-102 for the treatment of Fabry disease, as well as to further develop our early-stage pipeline of therapeutics and for general corporate purposes. And now for the numbers. For the 3 months ending March 31st, 2020, Protalix recorded revenues from selling goods of $5 million, an increase of $1.5 million or 43% compared to revenues of $3.5 million for the same period of 2019. The increase resulted primarily from an increase of $0.8 million in sales of drug product to Brazil, as well as an increase of $0.7 million in sales of drug substance to Pfizer. Revenue from licensing and research and development for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2020 were $16.6 million, an increase of $9.7 million or 140% compared to revenues of $6.9 million for the same period of 2019. The revenues from license agreements represent the revenues recognized in connection with the previously announced agreement with Chiesi. Cost of goods sold was $3.4 million for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2020, an increase of $1.4 million or 68% from the cost of goods sold of $2 million for the same period of 2019. R&D expenses were $10.3 million for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2020, a decrease of $1.4 million or 12% compared to $11.7 million of R&D expenses for the same period of 2019. SG&A expenses were $3.2 million for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2020, an increase of $1 million or 43% compared to $2.2 million for the same period of 2019. And finally, net income for the year 3 months ended March 31st, 2020 was $1.7 million or a profit of 10 cents per share, basic and diluted, compared to a net loss of $7.3 million or $0.50 per share, basic and diluted loss for the same period of 2019. And now I'll turn the call back to you, Dror.
Thank you, Eyal. During the last quarter, we were able to close the $43.7 million private placement. Furthermore, the top-line results from our phase 3 bridge study and the subsequent BLA submissions recently for PRX-102, which were announced in May, show that Protalix has actually gained momentum by leaning into an unprecedented challenge. I'm convinced now more than ever that our team is positioned for a long-term success and look forward to continuing our momentum through the rest of this year and into 2021. And to my team and to our many investors, partners, and colleagues, I thank you and appreciate it very much. With that, I will now turn the call back to the operator, which will open the call for questions from the audience.
Thank you. We will now be conducting a question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. A confirmation tone will indicate that your line is in the question queue. You may press star 2 if you would like to remove your question from the queue. For participants using speaker equipment, it may be necessary to pick up your handset before pressing the star keys. Our first question comes from the line of Ram Selvaraju with H.C. Wainwright. Please proceed with your question.
Hi, this is Bhubalan dialing in for Ram Selvaraju. And thanks for taking my question. So the first one, how long is it likely to take for the FDA to render a decision on whether or not to accept the BLA for PRX-102 for review?
So I'm sorry, but I did not understand the question. We have submitted the file and we are waiting for the FDA to decide on the PDUFA date.
So, yeah, I'm curious. We are wondering, how long would it take in order to, hear from that?
I'm sorry, I missed that. I'm sorry. So it depends upon the FDA. It's the FDA decision if it considers to give a priority of a review or not. It takes between 2 months to 2 months and 14 days, 2 months and a half. It's upon their decision.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Understood. Yeah.
It was my misunderstanding.
Yeah. With respect to the PRX 102, will it be manufactured solely in Israel, or are you planning to manufacture the drug at an alternative site?
So the drug substance is currently manufactured in Israel, and the final product actually is being manufactured outside of Israel. If there will be any decision to add a site, we will update, of course. At present, this is the situation.
Okay, understood. So how is TSV planning to handle market access and reimbursement? And what kind of experience does your partner have in these areas in the context of orphan drugs within the U.S. market?
So Chiesi is extensively building their rare disease business globally. It is based in Boston. They have bought a couple of assets already. They have teams on the ground both in the US and in Europe. I think the vast majority of the teams, probably all of them, are with extensive experience and track record in rare disease. Many of them come from specific rare disease companies, ex-Genzyme and others. So in this respect, I believe that they will do a very good job. So actually, if we count heads, if I may say, so they have probably thousands of years of experience combined in both continents already, and they are actually strengthening up ahead of the, hopefully approval and launch next year.
Great. So did COVID-19 have any impact on Elelyso Brazil? If so, could this be quantified?
So it's present. I want to be careful. It's present. At least for the first half, we don't see any influence. And I hope this will continue into the second half of 2020. So currently not.
Okay, great. And one final question. Are you making any progress on identifying potential licensees for OPRX 106 and PRX 110? And when might we see developments on these fronts?
So we are working on potential collaborations. If once there will be something to report, of course, we will report accordingly.
Okay, that's it from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, to queue a question at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Our next question comes from the line of Philippa Gardner with Jefferies. Please proceed with your question.
Oh, hi there. Just 2 questions from me, possibly too early to say, but I was just wondering, do you expect to have an FDA advisory committee meeting as part of the review of the regulatory submission? And then my second question was just, again, on manufacturing. I think, the product's currently being made at a facility that's already been inspected. So do you think that the FDA review will require another inspection of the facility, or how do you think the FDA might handle that? Thank you.
So I will start with the second question because I apologize, but I did not understand the first one. The line was not clear. With regard to the first question, our site was audited and inspected in July of 2019 successfully with no 483s. Still, we are ready for another inspection if it will happen. Again, I don't know if due to the COVID-19 it will happen, but clearly we are ready and there is no issue with that. But if you don't mind to repeat your first question.
Yeah, it was just whether you thought there'd be an advisory committee meeting as part of the FDA review.
I mean, the BLA will submit and then we'll follow the regular procedure. So first to get the PDUFA date and then the review cycle. And as part of it, probably, I don't know what will happen due to the COVID-19, but we expect, inspection by the FDA and a review, and that's it. And clearly a discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. As a final reminder, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to ask a question at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Please hold while we poll for any additional questions. Thank you. We've received a question from the line of Walter Goring, a private investor. Please proceed with your question.
Good morning, gentlemen. Congratulations on your progress. I have 4 little questions. How many warrants have been exercised since the financing?
I'll take the question. The warrants are not exercisable. They are blocked for 6 months according to the deal, so none of them were exercised at this point.
Okay, thank you. Are you aware of a company called Kentucky Bioprocessing that works with tobacco protein and what they're doing with that product line?
I'm not aware of, but probably my team is aware of. This is Dror speaking.
Right. Okay. What is the plant protein behind the Elepso product?
The ELELYZER product is carrot, and the rest are with BY2, which are tobacco sales.
Okay. When will 102 be given a marketing name, and who will do that?
This is a good question. So it's up to Chiesi to decide. Clearly, they consult with us, but it's Chiesi's decision, and I hope soon. It's something that they propose a name or a list of names to the FDA, I believe, and then they get approval.
I see. Okay. Thank you very much. Congratulations on the progress.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It appears we have no additional questions at this time, so I'd like to pass the floor back over to management for any additional closing comments.
So thank you. I ask to thank everybody for the time, and I wish all of us good health and to continue with improvement in Protalix. So thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude today's teleconference. We thank you for your participation, and you may disconnect your lines at this time.